Hi guys, welcome to Everybody Arts. My name is Mr. Matt, and today I just want to do a quick vlog about my rotoscoping project. It's pretty much done. I just have to do the very last bit. So anyway, the animation up until now that's finished, I'm really happy with it. I had problems in the beginning matching skin tones because I have everything broken down in about 4 different sections. And just to make it easier for me to animate and feel like I'm making progress going between the different sections. But I messed up, and there's a color profile. I don't know how it happened, but a couple of the color displays changed between sections. And so even if I went back and changed it to the correct color profile, the colors never matched. So I had to go back and recolor huge sections, and that took a lot of time. The final part that I'm working on now is going very quickly, and I'm surprised because it's taken me a year to get up to this point. And I think it's just that I've gotten to the point now where I know what I want out of the project, where I know exactly how I want the hand to look when I'm rotoscoping it. I know the colors, I know how I want it to move, I know how I want it to look. When I started, I just had an idea, and I just went with it. And when something didn't work, if I did a ton of work and put a ton of time into something, if I didn't like it, I would just redo it. And I didn't care. It was my own personal project. So, you know, I don't want to say I wasted a lot of time, but I spent a lot of time working and reworking certain sections, discovering ways to do things differently, just learning about the process. I mean, I went to school to be an animator, and you know, I never ended up using animation or working in animation. I did a lot of other things. I worked in the printing industry for a long time, but I never became an animator. So this is like the first major thing I've done, and this is the longest I've ever worked on any project, personal project of my own. And it's, like I said, it's been over a year. I've never finished or worked on anything like this for this long. So I'm really happy with it. I'm really proud of it. And I'll show you little bits and sections of it right now. So what I'm showing you right now is the completed animation all the way up until the very last scene, which I had to reshoot because the rotoscoping didn't look very good. So I'm working on that right now. But this is everything completed except for the special effects. And that's the next little bit that I'll show you. I had to do 2 different pieces to the special effects. I had a little burst of color that pops out of the ink, that magenta, and I also had the ink dots, the little bursts of dots that come out of the ink. So those were 2 separate things that I had to work on. I did like a little bit of a color burst in one spot, and I had to do that on the computer. Everything I've done so far has been on my iPad. The only reason I did this on the computer is because I did it with I used gradients, which is going from one color to another like really smoothly, and I needed to do that inside of certain shapes and things like that. And Procreate, you can do that, but it's not very intuitive. So I went on to the computer to do that, and I used Affinity Photo for that. I made it almost like a tutorial before, but I'm not going to do that right now. Basically, it's showing you the process I took for every single hand. In this section, I did 2 gradients on each hand. Everything I'm showing you in this section, I did on every hand for the color burst. So it's a lot, and I just kind of wanted to show you that. There's obviously, I don't think anybody else is going to be using these tools to do this. I just wanted to show you how I did it and the work I did in it. Also, I did a bouncing ball. There's tons of dots that bounce. Like every time there's a burst in this one section, there's 3 of them, and every time there's a burst, dots bounce out of that little ink blob. I drew little paths for each of the dots so that I knew where the dots were going to go. I just kind of guessed as far as animating them each time. And I drew 2 dots per layer, just so that I could kind of keep them together and keep them organized. And then I would put each burst into a group. This is getting crazy. It was so much work to make it so that I could keep everything organized and knew where everything was and knew which dots went with which burst, because the dots are the same color for each burst. I mean, I only used a few colors. So I had to keep everything separate and organized. And so keeping your layers very organized is important. I animate, all my animation pretty much has been done in the car. I'll do it on the weekend sometimes if the mood hits me, and I'll animate for hours and hours on the weekend if I feel like it. And there's been quite a few times where I've spent like an entire day just animating because it's been fun. It's like meditation almost, drawing the same thing over and over and over. And I animate straightforward. I don't do a lot of in-betweening because it's rotoscoping. Even with the dots, I would animate straightforward. You know, there's an ease in and an ease out of the dots when you're going through a bouncing ball. So I was pretty aware of it. It's a simple animation for bouncing balls. So the dots were super simple. They're not all perfect. I did them pretty quick. And there were a lot of them, and trying to keep them separate was a chore. But yeah, that was pretty easy. So that's my animation in a nutshell right now. Again, I'm really happy. I'm very, very, very happy with the way the end turned out when I reshot the video for the ending of it. I'm not showing that here. I'm going to do it in another one because I'm still working on it. But it turned out really cool. I just want to give a quick shout out to my daughter and Emma and her friends, Jaden and Alex and Ariana. They were at the park the other day and came up and said hi because I was out there. It was nice out, so I was drawing on my iPad, and I got so much done. And Alex came up to me because I used to be a volunteer art teacher over at their school. And so they recognized me and they were asking me about it. And Alex said he has a Discord server and he told everybody about my channel. And so it was really cool. And I just wanted to say thank you and hi. And, I hope everybody's doing cool. And I'll try to put a lot more new content on there to make everybody happy, all right? So thanks for watching. And I will hopefully have some more new stuff up soon, all right? Take care, guys. Bye-bye.